Hi friends! Hi friends! Hi friends. So there's one guitar technique that above all else just completely blew my mind the first time that I heard it. I remember exactly where I was, exactly who did it, and exactly how it blew my mind. We had a friend growing up, got my first guitar ever, an Epiphone Strat. Yes, they used to exist. My cousin gave me his, I don't know, it's like a late 80s. Maybe, I actually have it right here. Disassembled, unfortunately, but it's right behind me. Epiphone Strat, all torn apart. It's actually a really sick Strat. But I had that Epiphone Strat, I was learning how to play guitar, 13, 14 years old. And one of my dad's friends living close by already played. The guy was a phenomenal guitar player. His name's Jeff Malott. Shout out Jeff Malott. The odds of you watching this video, not great. But if you do, Jeff, just know my little 13-year-old brain just melted when you performed a pinch harmonic. So I remember Jeff helped show me power chords, the very, very basics to get me going, which was super necessary. When you're first starting to play, all you want to do at first is do things that sound cool. Like you want to play something that you recognize, like, oh, that's Hell's Bells, or oh, that's Iron Man, or oh, pinch harmonic in my case. So I was lucky that it was one of the first things that I learned because he was just playing and it was something like this. He just did like a really basic like pentatonic little lick but threw in those pinches, and when I heard it I remember looking at my dad and literally being like, what was that? Like we literally asked Jeff, what was that you just did? Like it was that kind of sound. Like the first time you hear one and you just hear that squeal, it is completely mind-blowing. So I noticed on the last video I did, which is now ancient, it's like 80 years old or something like that, I did a 3 tips for great metal tone kind of video. And a lot of people, I did pinch harmonics throughout the video just in my playing. It's such a part of my playing now that I kind of can't avoid them. And I had people like, what was that sound you did at 2 minutes and 8 seconds, whatever. And it was a pinch harmonic. So I was like, enough people are asking about pinch harmonics that maybe I should just do a video explaining them. And for sure, there are millions other out there, but there's only one me, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to break this down for you guys. The first thing to understand about a pinch harmonic is that, yes, it helps with a high gain amp. As you could hear in those licks, there's a lot of gain going on in my amp. You watch my tip for dialing in a metal tone. That's basically the tone I'm using now. Just a really high gain, clear metal tone right now. Anyway, pinches! They're awesome. That's the lesson. They're awesome. But seriously, I'm going to cut all of that. Use high gain for sure. When you're just learning them, it's going to help you hear them when you're doing it right. Even if you partially catch one or kind of just clip one or glance at one, you're going to hear it better than if it was on a cleaner kind of setting. And that's not to say that like you can, that's obviously with the volume rolled down and a noise suppressor on, so it's killing it some. But like, even on an acoustic guitar, if you have perfect technique, you can still catch pinches. It'll still sound pinchy, but if you want the extreme kind of squeal sound that I think you're used to or that you associate with pinches, you're going to need to go pretty high gain for it. So that's step one. You know, get that gain rolling, get a nice high gain tone. Watch my other video, 3 tips for dialing in your metal tone. If you need a good bass line, start with something like that. Now, step 2 would be the actual technique behind the pinch harmonic. Like, what are you actually doing? So to me, there are really only 2 components to this. There is the picking hand and the fretting hand.
Genius, genius, genius!
And they're both very important to pull off a pinch harmonic the right way. I would say the picking hand being a little more important because that's where the actual pinch happens. That's why it's called a pinch harmonic, because you are literally pinching the string between your pick and your thumb. So as you're coming through the string, as you come through the string, you are hitting the string with your pick first. That's a normal pick, right? And then the side of your thumb after that. So when you're coming through, pick first, side of your thumb second. So you're literally touching the string with the side of your thumb as you come through. is what causes the pinch harmonic. That's literally the technique. So pick first, thumb second. You have to touch the string with your thumb after the pick. It's delicate. It's kind of graceful. The more you do it, the more you will get it down. Like, you can absolutely botch pinches, and I probably will throughout this video. Like, sometimes you just don't catch them right, but when you catch them clean, they're glorious. So pick first, thumb second. And that applies to literally any string. Wherever you're doing them, that's the technique. That's the basis of your pinch harmonic. Now we're going to move on to the fretting hand, which is important for the vibrato. So if you just do a pinch straight up, sounds like whatever, like you can tell there's a pinch happening there. It's not very cool though. When you get down to it, and you know, there's two guys that you got to shout out anytime you're doing a pinch harmonic lesson: Billy Gibbons, ZZ Top, Zakk Wylde, Black Label Society, and Ozzy. These are the two guys to me that really define the pinch harmonic in very different ways. Billy Gibbons had more of a lower gain and more lead focused pinch harmonic attack. He would do like the super squealies in his leads, man. And then Zakk Wylde, of course, popularized them more so with his rhythm playing, I would say, than his leads. I mean, certainly he does them in his leads as well, but it's more of like a riff-based accentuation. And earlier in the video, you know, I played Stillborn, which is literally, I'll get onto this tip, but it's kind of like an advanced pinch harmonic riff, I would call it. Like, that's literally the entire riff of Stillborn, but of course, that's more of a Zakk Wylde sound, right? That's what I would consider more of a Zakk kind of squeal. So why the fretting hand is so important, and it's something that you've probably noticed already. You do a pinch straight up, sounds like that. You add some vibrato, then it sounds like that. It's a completely different ball game, right? So I would just sit and practice that right there. That's the 3rd fret on the lowest string, which this guitar is just in standard tuning. So on the E string, 3rd fret, just catch a pinch. And then practice vibratoing it. So I'm really grabbing it with 2 fingers, as you can see. My middle finger and my index finger are both involved in the bend and the vibrato, and I think that's important because you need like a strong grip. It's an aggressive sounding technique, right? Like when you hear it, like it bites in. It sounds aggressive because it is. Like, it's an aggressive motion with your left hand. You're really grabbing the guitar and, you know, digging in there with it. That's very important for it to sound. So dig in, grab that harmonic, work on your vibrato. When you time the 2, that's when they just sound purely filthy. So that's step 1, pick first, thumb second, get the pinch first of all ringing. Step 2, vibrato that thing. All right, step 3 is what I'm saying with Stillborn. This is the part that I think a lot of people leave out of their pinch harmonic videos, and it's something that I wish I knew a lot sooner in my guitar journey. So if you're early on in your guitar career, I hope this helps you out and gives you a bit of a head start. Without getting too much into the specifics of the physics of a guitar string and the way the vibrations actually work, it matters where you pick the pinch harmonic horizontally. Where your hand is horizontally will affect the tone of the pinch. So check it out. That sounds like I'm playing different notes almost, right? I'm literally just on the 2nd fret on the E string that entire time. And all I'm doing is changing where I'm picking the pinch harmonic. Like, it's clearly the same note. But the tones of that pinch are changing as I go right to left, left to right as I travel along. So where you pick the pinch will affect the sound of the pinch. So as you get closer to the neck, it's more of a duller, like, woo-ier sound, and then as you get closer to the bridge, it gets very sharp and attacky. to me, there's a sweet spot like somewhere in the middle where when you're playing riffs or you're playing live and you're playing in a situation where you don't want to miss pinches, there's like a safe spot where they ring the best. So if you're practicing your pinches and you're picking too close to the bridge, you might find that you're making it a lot harder on yourself to learn the technique. You might not be doing anything wrong. The physics might just not be right. So find... That's the spot. So find the spot where they just ring out easily and clearly for you, and you're going to make your life a lot easier. So step 1, pick first, thumb second. Step 2, work on your vibrato. Step 3, focus on where you're actually picking the harmonic and where it's going to sound best. And then use that as you learn it, as you get the technique down. Use it to create dynamics in your riffs. There was a Gojira song on their Magma album. Magma. And I think it may have actually been the song Magma. Sorry if I'm incorrect there. But it was the first time in a very long time that I was blown away by the use of a guitar technique. And it's not like, at this point, it seems like everybody's kind of done everything to a degree. You see more extended range guitars, and you see people playing riffs and licks and solos, of course, that have never been done that are sick. But hasn't been a time in a while where I heard something and I was like, is that what he's doing there? Like, is that it? They built the riff, much like Stillborn, so I don't know why it blew my mind as much, but it just sounds different on Magma. Magma. They built that main riff completely out of pinches and moving where they pick the pinch. So the idea that they're doing there, that main riff, is 100% them changing where they pick the pinch, and it is so clear. They did it so well. Like, honestly, you should probably get a pinch harmonic lesson from Joe Duplantier instead of me. That Frenchy boy. That French boy knows how to do a pinch now. So, I will add a bonus step for you guys because I think this is very important too, is think about the dynamics of your pinch. We talk about that Zakk Wylde kind of pinch. Cool. Like, those sound cool. Those are awesome pinches. But also think about the way you can use a pinch to create dynamics. And again, I'll say Gojira probably does it better than any band I'm aware of, where they will pre-bend a pinch maybe, or work on it for a big bendy kind of raw effect. Like, think of how you can use the pinch to just create added dynamics, because like, it's a really cool effect. If you bend it and slowly release that pinch, just sounds really cool. And to counteract my vibrato tip, there's no vibrato happening there, and that's why it sounds so cool. It's a very straightforward bend and release with very little to no vibrato at all happening, so it's cool. So just think about it. Like, once you get the technique down, think of how you can apply it, because I think that's really what sets people apart. That's why you say, like, Billy Gibbons to Zakk Wylde, like, there was a clear evolution of the pinch there. Bands like Gojira now also using it in a different way than Zakk Wylde. Everybody's doing them. Everybody uses pinches and they sound sick, and that straightforward one can just really accentuate a riff in a really cool way. But then think about how you can apply it to your own playing to add some spice and flavor. So pinches are awesome, guys. I freaking love pinch harmonics, and it's awesome that I got to do a lesson focusing specifically on them. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like and subscribe to the channel. It's been too long since I did a guitar video, and I'm done spending 6 years in between videos, guys. So let me know what you want to learn next, and I'll break it down for you. I'd love to discuss more about the guitar and the things you can do with it. Love this freaking instrument. Let's get it, guys. Enjoy your pinches.